These are the 4 steps that I use to coach a kettlebell swing to new clients, to clients in a workshop, or sometimes I will take a client back through some of these as a refresher. So some of you or your clients might stay at some of these stages in practice. You might be here for a while, so it may not necessarily be something that you go through in one session. So stay at each step for as long as you need. First step is going to be the deadlift. So you want to make sure that you or your client has a strong deadlift before you start the swing, okay, which is basically a moving deadlift. So for the deadlift, feet about hip width apart, toes pointed out slightly. Notice that I have the bell, it's underneath my body and it's back towards my heels, okay? So that is going to help you naturally get that hinge in. So to get into my position, I like to just think about pushing the hips. Back, 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 okay? And then ideally you would land with the hips between the knees and the shoulders, okay? That's what we want. We don't want to be up like this. That will encourage some pulling from the arms. We really want to sit back into the hamstrings. So I'm here in my starting position. I'm going to break the handle of the bell. Gaze is forward, driving the feet through the ground, up into that tall standing plank position. So this is a good for you or your clients to practice this tall standing plank position. This is exactly what the body should feel and look like at the top of the kettlebell swing, minus the arms being out. And then to go back down to the ground. Hips go first, pushing the hips back, back, back. Take that kettlebell back towards the heels, okay? Make sure it doesn't start inching forward so you get that good hinge. Step number 2 is the hike. So the hike is basically the back swing, okay? So for that, body's gonna look the same except now the arms are gonna be out because the kettlebell is gonna be about a foot in front of you. Feet might go just a little wider than the deadlift. So in the hike, I want you to really think about rooting the feet through the ground. Quads tight, glutes tight, okay? And then you're gonna think about moving the bell with your lats. Try not to let the hips pop up. So try to keep them in place so you've really got a lot of stability happening through the legs here. I'm gonna pull the bell towards me, break the handle of the bell, and as I hike back, I wanna make sure the forearms touch the inner thighs and that the bell's not staying super low to the ground. We want that bell to be up as close as possible. Step number 3, air swings. I like the air swings to coach the timing of the swing and to also reinforce the top of the swing, that tall standing plank. So no bell, getting into position, arms come back. Again, we're talking about hitting the inner thigh with your forearm, and then we're gonna come up fast so you can practice, or clients can practice, really coming up fast into this tall standing plank position. Now this is where where I really like to use the air swing to work on is to let your hands fall. Let the bell fall, let the hands fall, let it fall until your hands get a little closer to stomach level, and then release your glutes and quads and hinge back. Up fast, let it fall, let it fall, let it fall, and then hinge back. Okay, so we want to work on that timing versus moving with the bell. It's really hard to get power from your hips and legs if you're moving with the bell. So I like the air swing a lot to just work on the timing, even though it obviously feels different when you have a weight in your hand. All right, and then number 4 are power swings or dead stop swings. It's basically single reps of your kettlebell swings, okay? And I like these because if it's you or if you're coaching someone, you can correct mistakes with every rep, okay? So if I'm coaching someone, I can look at one rep, we can kind of talk about it, correct some things, they do another rep, okay? And if you're working on it by yourself, you can self-correct instead of getting into maybe starting off bad and then you just continue going. These are also a little bit harder because you don't have the momentum going. So these are also something good to come back to just to practice. So your power swing would look like this. Parking the bell each time. And then you're on to kettlebell swing. So I hope that was helpful. That's the 4 steps that I always use to coach the swing.